Okay, so welcome to this week's video. In the last few weeks we've been taking notes. This week I kind of want to do something a bit different, okay? So in the subject of materials technology wood, it's one thing to be able to make what I give you, but you have to be able to also, for your junior cert, design. So in order to do this, considering we're at home, we can't really do any practical work, we might as well practice some design elements, okay? So we haven't done a whole lot on this yet, because it's a lot harder to design and make as it is just make. So we'll have a go at it. Now, first off, I think what's a good thing to start designing is something very straightforward, and you can design into it as much as you would like, okay? So what we're going to look at, you're tasked with designing and creating a birdhouse, okay? Very simple, very straightforward, so you would think anyway. You will need to research your design and create sketches before modeling the final design, alright? So you're going to be given 3 classes to do this. The first class, you're going to research and create sketches, alright? You're going to sketch from what you find on the internet. When you go make your junior cert project, this is the exact formula you will follow, alright? This format. So, the first class, you're going to make sketches. You're going to look up things you need to know about birdhouses, alright? Then the second 2 classes, out of cardboard, you're going to model your design to the sizes and the actual design you've come up with, alright? So, where to start designing? Now, first thing I always like to do when designing is I will simply just type in birdhouse designs, alright? Google Images is your friend when you're doing this, alright? So you can use this on your phone, whatever you'd like. Start looking through Google, okay? So, you can see there's loads of links, 20 birdhouse plans. Go on to YouTube, there'll actually be people making them on that as well. But you can see as you go down along, a lot of the birdhouses have very similar, okay, layouts. You can see one here made out of a log, alright. Other ones then have a pitched roof, alright. The idea for that is that the rain will run off. Other ones then have just one roof sloped down towards. It's completely up to you, alright. You can see some of them are very complex. I wouldn't advise going that far first, alright. So you can look up easy, simple birdhouse plans. The reason why I'm getting you to do this is because there's so much on the internet. There's plans and plans and plans available that you can get for free, and you can copy them if you want for your design, alright? So we'll go back in here. Now, before you get to that stage, you need to find out what bird are you designing for. Now, different birds live in different size nest boxes, okay? And there's different specific things they like, okay? So, for instance, if you had a nest box for a pigeon, would be a lot larger than a nest box for a robin, for obvious reasons, okay? So, you go back to Google, right? And type in birdhouse sizes. You'll start to be given a lot of information on different sizes, alright? So you can see here, right? You take a swallow, okay? So the 4 size of the box is 5 by 5 inches. Now you can convert that to metric if you want. A lot of these plans you will find will be in inches, but you should have inches on your ruler. The cavity depth from box floor, right? So that's how deep it should be, is 6 inches. The entrance above the floor for the hole is 1 to 6 inches, and then it tells you the actual hole size and how high to put it above the ground, alright? So all this information is readily available for you on the internet. It's about you finding it, okay? So, the first thing, what bird are you going to design it for? That's up to you. Pick an ostrich if you like, I don't care, right? I'd advise doing a small bird, okay, because that's more than likely the one you will do. Then, part 2 then is, what size will it be? So this links back into the type of bird, alright? Type of bird you're going to make and what they prefer. So the hole size and the overall dimensions. This will all span from what bird you're looking at. Alright. Then, once you can figure out the sizes, you can start to figure out what it will look like. Alright. So, what it will look like. This here, lads, is where you will put in your sketches. So in your notes copy, right, what I want you to do is start answering these questions as you go along, right? So what bird are you designing for? I'm going to make a robin. Put in what you know about a robin, Google it, write down 2 or 3 bullet points about it, bang. You've decided you're working with a robin. Then what size will it be? You need to look up then what preferences a robin has, okay? So you have the whole size. Robins don't actually like a hole in the birdhouse. They prefer an opening, alright? So just a completely open front in it because they're more inclined to nest in it like that. How do I know that? I didn't sit there all day and watch to see what robins went into. I Googled it, okay? So overall dimensions then, readily available on Google. Then, what will it look like? So here then, what you can do is you can start to sketch some birdhouses. Now I'm just drawing mine 2D here, very rough, alright. So I'll have a hole there probably, something then, a peg for them to stand on, alright. So there like that, that's very rough. Draw out a few different designs. You should have design 1, design 2, and design 3. Alright, so you pick which one of them you want to put in each one. So Google them. You can get another birdhouse probably with a front on it like so. Now I'm just rushing drawing these, okay? Some sort of thing like that. Front there on it, and you could have maybe something very wacky at the end. I don't know. Okay, so what will it look like? You need to make 3 sketches. Bang, you're done then, right? Then, also in terms of the birdhouse, what else is needed? Depending based off your bird, some birds do not come back to the same nest every year. Sometimes they do. If you have a hole, maybe 20 mil big for a small bird to go in, right? And that bird makes its nest and flies back off to wherever it wants at the end of the summer, okay? That does not come back to the same nest. If you want another bird to make a nest in there next year, you're going to have to be able to clean that out. How are you going to do that if you screw and glue the box together, alright? So what I do is, this is up to yourself. I come up with a design on my birdhouses somewhere where I can put a hinge, alright? So I've a hinge then on the birdhouse, something like this, right? Now this is a rough drawing. I've my hinge on it, right? Screwed down into the top. That means I can open one side of the birdhouse and take out the nest. Now obviously you do this when the bird is gone, okay? That means then it's easy to clean, and next year then another bird can come and make its nest in it. So if you were to make a nest for a bird that leaves once and you can't clean it out, that means that box will only ever be used once. Okay, so birds don't take each other's nests. Majority of them like to build their own from scratch. Okay, so that's what you have to think as well. So to recap, you need to find out what bird are you making this nest for, or this birdhouse for. What size will it be? That's all available on Google. What will the design look like? You come up with 3 designs, okay? And also, when you're thinking about these designs, what else is needed in it? So you need some sort of hinge system and a latch, okay? Obviously a latch in it will have to go in. If it's open, you need to be able to lock it shut or close it so nothing else can get in, okay? And then finally then, part 5, you will need to come up with your final design. Alright, So your final design is going to be your birdhouse, like so, whatever you come up with. I'm going to have a slanty roof on mine, let the water run off. I'm going to have an opening here on it, alright. So that's the opening on mine. It's for a robin. You will need to put in open front. I looked up already. The floor space is 5 inches, alright, by 5 inches. And then the height of it is going to be 6 inches, alright. This all depends on your research. Each one of you should come up with a different design for your birdhouse, okay. The amount of stuff available on this online, lads, is ridiculous. You can just go in and look up birdhouse plans, and you'll see all these come up. So you see the front, if you click in on these, shows the roof, how big to make them. It has them in centimeters and everything, alright. There's loads of different types of birdhouses, okay. All these plans are here. You can copy them if you like, or you can come up with your own, okay, and tweak it. You see here there's loads of different designs. There's one with 4 houses all together. It's completely up to yourself. Here's one with a flower box in between it. Alright, so what you're tasked with doing then is coming up with your design. So for the first class, you need to figure out what I'm going to make, what is it going to look like, and how big is it going to be. They're the 3 things you need to find out. Alright, so if you follow this video, come up with a good sketch with your dimensions on it, and by dimensions I mean sizes, right? Spend the next 40 minutes googling, looking, make a drawing. The drawing doesn't have to be perfect, lads, alright? Rough sketch. Here's what's going in. Here's where the hinge is going. This is the size. Bam. You've just completed your research and you've came up with a design, okay? Then in the next 2 classes, what you're going to be doing is you're going to go get cardboard, get it out of the bin, cereal boxes, whatever. You're going to draw it out onto the cardboard and make the model of your design. This is the exact format I followed for making the birdhouse that I made in the woodwork room. I made it in college. I went and looked up all this stuff. I then made a model of it out of cardboard, and then I made it out of timber. Obviously, we won't be making it out of timber now because we're not in school. We can't do it. But we can do the majority of the design stage, alright? So this is really good practice for you to do this. It'll be worthwhile doing this if you do it, alright? Because you'll be doing the same thing for your junior cert. So that's all it is for today. You look up your stuff, come up with your design. You don't have to go with a standard birdhouse if you want. Surprise me, alright? So the design is completely yours. The sizes, whatever you want. Make me a birdhouse, okay? That's it. If you have any questions, ask me. I'll be touching base with you again the next class, see how he's getting on. So for this class, you will need to submit a sketch with dimensions of the birdhouse you plan on making. Alright, thanks very much.